I mean, how are you feeling about all this? I mean, you and I both have been around for a long time. You a little bit longer than me, but I've never seen anything like this. You know?
No, never at all. It's just it's something that you could imagine maybe being in a movie.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw about 3 weeks ago a movie called On the Beach with Gregory Peck, and anyway, it was at the end of the world, and I thought, and they had it in Melbourne.
Yeah, of course.
And I thought, oh God, okay, but it's no, it's just no one. I'm sure no one would have expected this to happen. It's just so we ride it out.
Right. Now, speaking of things no one expected to happen, you've got a hit song that's getting played on the radio all over the place.
Thank you very much, Marty. Yeah, no, I've been very fortunate. It just came about purely by coincidence, and because I write a little bit myself, but I'm not a voracious writer. But I was handed a song about 6 months ago to pass on to Pink, and the association I have there with her is that our ex-manager Roger Davies manages her now, and he used to manage Sherbet back in the 70s. And a friend of mine asked me would I pass it on to him to see if she liked it. Anyway, this was about 6 months ago, and I had to listen to the song, and I thought, gee whiz, that sounds really good.
Right.
She'll really love this, you know. Anyway, so I sent it off via email on my phone, and I'm not very good at all that, the attachments and so. Anyway,
I hear you.
Sent it off, didn't hear from Roger, and then went out, and so 3 months had elapsed. In that time, because I hadn't heard from Roger, I thought I'll start playing this in my band,
right?
And we won't introduce it or back announce it or anything, just to see how it goes. And it was starting to get a really good reaction, and I still hadn't heard from Roger. And then I went out to lunch with him about 3 months after the event, and over lunch I said, "Did you get that song, Love Songs, for Pink?" He couldn't recall getting it, and he went home that afternoon and couldn't find it. And so I sent it to him again.
Yeah.
For the first time, probably. And
I know that feeling.
He had a listen. I know. And he had a listen, got back to me and said, "It sounds really good, but I think it suits you more than her."
Right.
And I thought, okay. So then it was probably about a week down the track, and I recorded it, and then we released it here in Australia, and it's been getting a lot of airplay, which is, it makes you feel so good, considering, you know, I've been in the business so long.
Yep.
You don't expect to have that sort of success this late in life, but it's great.
Yeah, and the name of the song is Love Songs, right?
Love Songs. Yeah.
And
Love Songs.
So with this resurgence of popularity and interest, what have you got in mind?
Nothing at the moment.
Well, stay indoors and stay well.
Yes, because we love, myself and the band that they have, we love playing live, and we virtually do that maybe 10, 11 months of the year. Right. So we've been curtailed with COVID-19, and I can't see us getting back out there to play until maybe at the earliest, maybe December this year. Right. But looking forward most definitely to playing all the songs that we have, plus also seeing how the reaction is to Love Songs now that people have heard it. Right.
Because it's been a while since you put an album out on your own. So is that something in the back of your head?
Yeah, it is. Getting quite a bit of pressure off Sony Music here in Australia for, you know, Daryl, what about an album? I go, okay. Which it's probably an ideal time to try and get songs and write songs at this particular point, especially now that we've got a 6-week period now that, you know, if I pull my finger out, I might be able to do something.
Right. So you mentioned that you're not a prolific songwriter. Do you have anything sitting around that you want to play with?
I do that. I started to write about 2 months ago, and it's a very strange. It'll be an interesting song because I was outside my place here in Melbourne, sitting in the car, talking on the phone, and I looked up in front of me while I was on the phone because I was parked, and I saw a girl run out of her house and virtually naked, and she ran straight into a car, and then flipped her over, and then she hit the concrete and just laid there. Somebody came out, got her, picked her up, and she wasn't moving, took her inside. I had to hang up on my call. I said, I can't believe what I've just seen. And anyway, to cut a long story short, I went to the police station, reported it, and haven't heard anything about it since. But I've got a song coming out of that, and I think it's the girl who lived on the edge of the park. Right. I don't know what happened. And now they've pulled the house down. You know, they're rebuilding. It's like...
Sounds like you could also get a movie out of that as well as a song.
I think it was such a shock. I've never seen that before. She just ran into the car. But anyway, that's one song. And then I've also got the chap who wrote Love Songs, or he wrote it with Rosie and Charlie from America.
This is Michael Fatkin, is it? Yep.
Yes, yep. He's from Sydney, and he's sending through a couple of songs as well that might interest me. So I think it's a good opportunity to sort of look into that and do more of the recording.
Right. So do you pay much attention to what's on contemporary radio these days and what's happening in the music scene?
I do to a degree. I mean, not as much as when I was younger, but it does amaze me of how music has developed over the years, over the decades, and there is some great music out there. I mean, it's and different genres and all that, but and in particular, through my son who's 34, he put me on to. He said, "Have a listen to Taylor Swift, the new album," which surprised me how organic it actually was compared
surprised
to
a lot of people.
Stuff. But sorry,
I said it surprised a lot of people. No one saw that one coming.
Sure, I did, but it's so I like that. But there's so much diversification out there, especially in pop music, if you want to call it pop music. But there's so many categories. But it makes you feel enthusiastic because there's still I think there's an avenue there, or a place for me at least. I see something, as long as you can make something that you still love yourself, which hopefully other people like as well.
Right, and I read somewhere that your song "The Horses" is getting kind of a resurgence as well. Is that what's happening?
Oh, well, Marty, it came out in 1991,
right,
and it was successful then here in Australia, and then over the years it's become, I guess, the most popular song that I do. Sort of, and even now it's still it's amazing. I'm sure every act would love a song like this that becomes their signature tune, sort of. Even though I have got other songs, but The Horses seems to be quite prominent in people's minds.
Right. Because the one that comes to my mind is "How's That?" Because I'm American, you probably tell, and I was working in radio back in the day. I have my album.
God.
I've got a couple of them, actually.
Did you like the Sherbet material?
Oh, yeah. To me, it was like classic power pop kind of stuff, you know. It was great.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Golly, that's because we went to America late or mid 70s and recorded an album, and it was called Another Night on the Road, and we changed our name just after that because the record company didn't like Sherbet, the name, so we became Highway. And
Oh, okay.
that didn't work.
It's bizarre.
And it was just like, we actually said to the record company, will you come up with a name? We'll go with it, you know.
Right.
And sure enough, it didn't work. But How's That was a good album. It really was.
And I thought Sherbet was a good name for a band. I had no problem.
Well, they just said that they thought the record company people thought that they saw us live and they said, Sherbet doesn't go, the name Sherbet just doesn't go with how you play, because you play heavier than what sherbet means in America.
Right.
And so we said, oh, okay. So, you know, it didn't work.
It never does. Stick with what your first impression is always the best way to go.
Definitely.
So when you get to play out again now, or are you?
Yes.
With this new song, are you getting new fans? Do they know what you've done in the past, and how do you present that to the people?
I think we'll have to wait and see because we've got a good, I guess, support base here in Australia of young and older people that obviously come from the Sherbet period, and I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I can't wait to play again, you know, especially whether it be a pub or a big outdoor, you know, festival or something like that. But it's going to be so good to stand on that stage and go, hello, it's good to be back.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure all bands will be able to go.
Everybody's itching to play, that's for sure. I mean, it's kind of great over here in New Zealand in the fact that we're allowed to do pretty much what we want to, and we can congregate and all that. We just can't get anybody from overseas. They got to go through like a 2-week quarantine. So.
But are you having live concerts there, or?
Yes.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
Oh, yes. So everything is kind of back to normal because we wiped it out. But the main scare here is people coming in from overseas. So. It seems to be working.
We were hoping because, sorry?
It said it seems to be working.
Most definitely. Yes. We were hoping that New Zealand would drop the barrier for their very, very good friends, us Australians, to come over there. But I can't see that happening over the next month or so.
No, sadly not. I mean, because I've been talking to a lot of Australian musicians, and everybody is hoping, when's this bubble going to happen? And then stuff got bad again, and so it's kind of off the table for now, I guess. Yeah, no,
they're going to have to because we all love New Zealand. Actually, where are you? Are you in Auckland?
Yeah, right in the middle of Auckland. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, you know that too. That the video for Love Songs was actually made in Auckland by TV Local.
Oh, I'll have to look at it and look at it and see if I recognize any place.
It's a cartoon that they've made, sort of, and it's really interesting. It's if you get a chance to have a look at it, it's worth it.
We'll post it on the website along with this interview so people can look at it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get Sony. Do you need them to send you the video?
I'm sure it's on YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
I'll just grab it from that. Everything's available.
Okay.
I mean, that's the difference between now and early, back in the 70s and 80s. Everything is at everybody's disposal. You can just put your hands on anything. Nobody pretty much pays for much of anything, which is kind of disappointing, but at least it's there.
It is. It's a completely different world from like the 70s. It's just every aspect of it.
And when was the last time you were in New Zealand?
Last year in Queenstown.
Oh, great.
I come over maybe once a year at least, and I just love the place. It's just have driven around the North Island with my son years ago, and that was fantastic. But no, a great place. The people are lovely. They take responsibility for themselves, if you know what I mean. Like
I do.
Even skiing at Queenstown, they go, ski at your own risk, like it's just it's your problem. We're not going to be we're not going to take any responsibility at all. It's like, oh, okay. But they are lovely.
Yeah. It's very different than the States as far as that kind of attitude goes. So
I bet it
you know,
is.
everything's litigated and everybody's insured up to the teeth, and it's crazy. But there you go.
You probably does New Zealand have the same hospitals set up, like the benefits that they have there similar to here, I imagine?
Yeah. It's so different than the States. I mean, you know,
I'm sure.
You get sick, you go to the doctor, it costs you $20 maybe. You go to the hospital if you're sick, and it's not a problem, you know. Whereas the first thing they want from you in the States is your insurance policy, and if you don't have it, you're out the door.
It's just it's so sad.
I know.
It really is.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thank you for taking time to talk to me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go and play my How's That record pleasure. Right now.
Oh, dude, please. God, have a listen to that. The guy, just a little off, the guy that produced How's That, Richard Lush.
Yeah.
He worked as a tape operator for the Beatles.
Oh, right.
He tells stories about, he didn't, over the time when we were recording with him, it was hard. It was like drawing teeth to try and get stories out of him. But he would occasionally tell you stories that, oh, yeah, they come in the studio, sit there, maybe smoke something, and then after about 4 hours, they'd start and out would come magic.
Magic, exactly. And you can definitely hear a Beatles influence in that music that you guys were making.
Oh, it's some of them. I think, like a lot of bands when around that time, when we were so influenced by them and the way they did things and harmonies and tried to emulate.
I talked to a guy the other day, the guy Dave Robinson, who started Stiff Records, and I didn't realize this, but when he was a kid, when he was kind of growing up in a teen, he shot the Beatles at the Cavern Club as a photographer. I was like, holy crap. That's amazing.
And he's still got the photos, obviously.
No, he said his mother got rid of them. I asked him.
Wow.
Man. But anyway.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. Oh, well.
Exactly. But so again, thank you for talking to me. Good luck with the song, and hopefully the album will be out Marty. Sometime soon, and hopefully you'll be around here and we can see you perform.
Hopefully I will. I look forward to it, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Marty.